What's good, fam? Lil Vibe back once again for the next episode of Soliloquies, an LKC story, where we're diving into my newest album with Axel, the producer Axel, RJC Productions, and P Status Beats. And in the previous episode, we got into the first track on the album, Home. If you haven't checked that out, go check that out. It's on the YouTube for the video side, and we got it on Spotify podcast as well for the audio side. If you're just listening to the audio, definitely want to make sure to tap in with the video as well, because it's going to sound like we're looking at stuff, and we are looking at stuff. But tap into that whenever you can and everything. So with this episode, we're getting right into the second track on the album, Confessions. Once again, the album is streaming everywhere now, traditional streaming and also upcoming blockchain-based platforms. And we got some digital collectibles and out there and all that stuff too. So you can get to the link in the bio or the link in the description of wherever this is at, and you can find all of that good info. And make sure to give a follow to the guys, Axel, RJC Productions, Peace Ass Beats, and of course over my profile. So subscribe to us and all this shit if you haven't already. Anyway, this track, if you watched the first one, okay, I like to start out with a little bit of interpretation from this book. Get it out here on the video. Gary Ziegler, Tarot Mirror of the Soul, Handbook for the Aleister Crowley Tarot. And I also like to start by looking at some tarot cards from some of my favorite decks. So once again, for this one, we have been looking at the Marseille Tarot deck, the Rider-Waite Smith Tarot deck, Kim Cran's Wild Unknown Tarot deck, and Aleister Crowley, Frida Harris Thoth Tarot deck. And so let's look at these cards for the Major Arcana Trump number 2, which is called the High Priestess traditionally. So let's look at that. So, in the Marseille deck, okay, we have, they call her La Papesse, all right? So once again, a French deck, and the language is representative of that. We can see a woman with a book and seated upon a throne, okay? So this is the priestess. And then if we're looking here in the Rider-Waite deck, Bow. So once again, another woman in a temple, okay, kind of reminiscent of the cult of Isis. And we have the twin pillars, Boaz Yachin there, okay, and in between there, in the middle passage, is the hidden woman, all right, the high priestess with the moon at her feet. So, looking now at the Rider-Waite Smith deck. Wow, we have like the futuristic priestess, got some animals and things in there. Once again, between the pillars, all right, so 2 1s, number 2, kind of like a hidden 2 in there, all right, so that's cool. Another thing I like with the Crowley deck as well, it has the astrological correspondences on the card, as well as the Kabbalic Tree of Life correspondences as well. So if you're interested in that, you can dig into it a bit more. And last but not least, Kim Cran's. We see a tiger here for the High Priestess. So representative of a tiger. See, the Twin Towers is almost like the paws of the tiger, and there's something in between, right? Crystal ball along with the moon. So very dope. Let's go ahead and dive into what Mr. Ziegler says about this card as it relates to the Crowley Harris version, but also, as we saw in the previous episode, it connects across all, right? So, keywords for this one. So, let's show the page here. Once again, I like this because it has a nice description, okay? And then it also breaks down some indications, suggestions, and affirmations as well, and keywords that go along with this, all right? So, let's get into this. Keywords, moon, okay, which we saw on several of the cards here. Pretty sure it was on just about every card we looked at from every deck, if I'm not mistaken, except for perhaps the Marseille. It didn't explicitly have it on there. But keywords, moon, access to intuitive powers, healing independence, inner equilibrium, increased self-confidence. Okay, so the priestess is represented by the moon goddess Isis. Once again, Isis, all right. She is surrounded by a fine network of light rays, an expression of her spiritual nature. Her essence is unrestricted independence. She's in touch with her intuitive abilities and can trust them completely. She perceives and is connected with her own inner voice, the internal guide and healer. So, once again, this whole album, this journey, this process, went through studios, OKC, and everything. It's been a journey following the inner voice, the guidance, the wisdom. So, feel a connection, very strong connection to this card, especially with the track. It's named Confessions. So, just being very honest from the inside about how we're feeling and what's going on intuitively, and also what's going on in the collective subconscious or unconscious, and tapping in intuitively to that, and finding connections there throughout the whole world in mythologies and history and politics and current events. So she perceives and is connected with her own inner voice, the internal guide and healer. This shows outwardly in her trust and in responsibility to herself, like the camel, which can travel long stretches in the desert. Okay, and camel, that's interesting. Like the camel, which can survive long stretches in the desert. You see on the bottom of the card there, the high priestess we have, or the priestess, we have the camel. And there's an interesting line in the album, referring to desert, and even like the cover, right? You can see it looks like it's a bit of a desert there, at least on the sandy part. Pilgrimage to Mecca, work the sand like I was Gara. So pilgrimage to Mecca, of course, the holy pilgrimage that Muslims take to Mecca and Kaaba, right? And work the sand like I was Gara. So there's an interesting connection there with track 5, and something interesting that we picked up there. Which can travel long stretches in the desert without water. When you have discovered your own inner spring, also radiate a sense of self-sufficiency. You find fertile oases, flowers, and fruits at the bottom of the card in the innermost reaches of your being. The more you accept yourself and share with others, the deeper the clarity of your perceptions will become, represented by the crystal. So once again, the more you accept yourself, being honest, confessions. So part of this is, the beginning of the song says, on the real man, got me talking to the people like I'm talking to the Reverend. Whoa, right? So it's just being honest, being truth. And the collective unconscious, the subconscious, our subconscious, it talks to us regardless of how we want it to be talked to. It's its own thing. So anyway, in this deck, the priest is one of the strongest cards for balance, equilibrium, and harmony. So it's something we play with in this track. A lot of opposites you'll see. Upper half of her body expresses the feminine receptive. This is extended by the upward swinging lines and the upward pointing crescent moons behind her head. The crown is the moon, which receives the light from the sun. All right. So, it keeps going on into more descriptions of the card. The priestess can indicate extrasensory perception, intuitive abilities such as clairvoyance, telepathy, creative visualization, empathy, intuitive knowledge, and healing powers. These abilities arise in harmony with and in service to the ultimate cosmic laws. There's a bow and arrow in the Crowley version as well, which accentuate, the directness of purpose, and from, the male principle combined with the female as well. A lot of hidden things in there. Anyway, indication. I'm not too worried about the indication in this. The affirmation, rather, I like this, and let's do the suggestion. So the affirmation, I trust my intuitive abilities. The suggestion, seek out water as often as you can, meditate near water, and learn from it as much as you can, right? So water, right? The album cover, seek out water, the ocean, split mountain, the sea. Okay, sea. There's a bit of a hidden meaning in there. And also, going through the dark night of the soul is often described as being out on a ship at sea of your unconscious, on the rocky waves in the dark night. So you now have access to your intuitive powers, develop them more fully, guard your independence. Vows, once again, following your heart, okay? So if we all access our own inner high priestess, right, our intuitive perceptions, our unconscious abilities, subconscious abilities, it'll lead us to where we need to be. So that's this track, all right. Also want to be very honest, very raw. This was actually one of the later tracks recorded on the album. We put it out as the EP Confessions from the South, and we paired it with track 9 South, which is fucking awesome because he had Confessions, which was just like, you'll see. And then he had South, which is just a banger. And but, when I had the vision for how to put the album together based on cars and mystical associations and things and what felt right, Confessions actually ended up being track number 2, and it flowed into, the sequencing well. I felt like from a production standpoint of how the sounds and everything sounded of the beat too. So let's get into this one. Confessions, once again produced by Axel, and shout out to RJC Productions. He engineered my vocals on this. Got them sounding crisp. So let's go.
Yeah, got me. Axel. Well. Talking these confessions like I'm talking to the Reverend. Hey, I'm just talking to the people. Yeah. Got me spilling the confessions. I've been talking to the people like I'm talking to the Reverend. Whoa. On the real man, I've been stressing. I've been working overtime and I ain't made a single saying no.
Yeah, so got me talking to the people like I'm talking to the Reverend, right? The Reverend could be the high priestess, okay? The Reverend could be male or female, so high priestess. On the real man, I've been stressing, I've been working overtime, and I ain't made a single cent yet. No, so once again, being vulnerable, being honest, and, connecting to a feeling that a lot of people in this country and in the world have right now, especially in these times of economic uncertainty. feeling like you work your ass off, you working, and it's hard to get ahead, you know. So I wanted to connect that with people, let them know, you know, we all going through it. So yeah, let's keep going.
I just keep the flame lit like a lighthouse. I've been shining through the darkness. So Christina Aguilera with the genie in the bottle. Hope this message keeps you well afloat. Flowing like the ocean, put the wind up in my sails just like a pirate. Then I hit the road.
Yeah, Christina Aguilera with the genie in the bottle. Hope this message keeps you well afloat. Flowing like the ocean, put the wind up in my sails just like a pirate. Then I hit the road. Right, so once again, ocean, water. We're talking about intuitive, perceptive abilities. You know, and just everything. And then once again, opposites, right? Lots of opposites. So on the real man, I've been stressing out for work overtime. I made a single cent yet. No, blazing on the ganja, keep the flame like a lighthouse. I've been shining through the darkness. So still, you know, even though it's been dark, hard times, still shining, still pushing the light forward. The sun don't stop shining regardless of what's going on outside. So, you know, that's what it is.
Tapping like I'm sparrow through the valley of the shadow. Hope the Lord will please forgive my soul. Yeah, eating my ambrosia, seeking closure, smoking doja like a catapult.
So, capping like I'm sparrow through the valley of the shadow. Hope the Lord will please forgive my soul. You know, that is a reference to Captain Sparrow, Captain Jack Sparrow, and Pirates of the Caribbean, Captain like I'm Sparrow through the valley of the shadow, right? So captain or capping, like line, like I'm Sparrow, Captain Jack Sparrow, through the valley of the shadow. Hope the Lord will please forgive my soul, right? So lying through the valley of the shadow. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I have no fear, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff give me strength and authority, right? So capping like I'm Sparrow, you know, giving these rhymes, giving these things, cryptic rhymes and stuff in there. And feeling like I hope God will forgive me for if I ever misspeak or give anything like that. So just being honest once again and confessing.
Tip it toe, tip it toe, tip it toe. Trying to keep the balance, lay the valley of the shadow. Hope the Lord will please forgive my soul. Yeah. Eating my ambrosia, seeking closure, smoking doja like a cat up on my tippy toe. Tippy toe, tippy toe. Trying to keep the balance, lay the balance at the corner while I'm paving on my own damn road.
So, you know, ideas, once again, of balance, intuitive perception. We have the balance in the Crowley card, you know, the top part and the lower part, right? You said one is more feminine and receptive and one is more masculine. You see with the bow and arrow and it pointing towards that, right? So, wow. Let's keep going. So the idea of balance, like a cat up on my tippy toes, you know, once again, just balance.
Let's lay the balance at the corner while I'm paving on my own damn road. Yeah. Building like a mason with the ashlar in the temple. No, I got a pocket full of stones.
Yeah. So trying to lay the ballast at the corner while I'm paving on my own damn road. So laying the ballast at the corner, you know, it's like you laying gravel or some building to prepare a building, right? Or building of the immortal self. Building like a mason with the ashlar in the temple. No, I got a pocket full of stones. Okay, so in masonry or Freemasonry, right? It's a guild of, you know, just individuals who want to better themselves, be the highest version of themselves, and, you know, just study spiritual, esoteric laws throughout the ages as it relates to various religions and cultures, okay? And one of my favorite Freemasons, Manly P. Hall, wrote The Secret Teachings of All Ages, and he actually became a Mason. He got inducted in after doing all his studies and things. So very interesting. And my father as well, Val, had his Mason ring. You know, he passed on. It passed to me. So the God in the center of the squared circle. And once again, this almost looks very similar to, you know, this high priestess here, right? So Val. Blue colors in the card, okay, blue colors on that. So that emblem, you know, the G and the square and the compass, the process of man refining himself, the rough parts of himself. So the ashlar is the rough stone. Building like a mason with the ashlar in the temple. No, I got a pocket full of stones because you're chipping away at the stone of yourself and you're going to have little pieces of stones. And also a reference to music and UGK, you know, pocket full of stones, classic hip hop. So just showing love, showing homage, and connecting once again the spirituality, showing how everything is really connected in one big synchronicity. Let's keep going.
Diamond under pressure, blowing pressure. Yeah, I guess that's just the way it goes.
Diamond rocks.
It is going about 100 through through the motions, splitting quotients. I can't keep up with the status quo. Nah. Quorum, my decorum at the forum in the foreign. Had to ball out, let these niggas know. Let them know. Marcus, yeah, I guess that's just the way it goes. It is. Going, hey, shining like a diamond under pressure.
So shining like a diamond under pressure, blowing pressure, I guess that's how the way it goes. Excuse me, once again, diamonds, we're talking about rock stones, in alchemy. You turn masonry, right, as well. You're looking to perfect yourself, or in alchemy, turn the base metal into gold, right? The base metal is the base experience of life into gold. So shining like a diamond, blowing pressure under pressure, I guess is the way it goes. Diamonds are made under pressure, okay? Going through the motion, splitting quotients, let's see.
Pressure, yeah, I guess that's just the way it goes. It is. Going about 100 through the motion, splitting quotients. I can't keep up with the status quo.
So going about 100 through the motion, splitting quotients, I can keep with the status quo. So going about 100, so you're going 100 fast through life, right? The 100 emotions. Going about 100 through the motion, splitting quotients, right? So splitting quotients, like if you're doing math, right? So the numerology related to this album, you're splitting quotients. Going through the most split quotients, I can keep it with the status quo, right? So I can't keep with status quo, meaning, state of affairs of what's going on, internally in the world and everything like that. So let's see here. I'm going to back that.
Just the way it goes. It is. Going about 100 through the motion, splitting quotients. I can't keep up with the status quo. Shining like a diamond under pressure, blowing pressure. Yeah, I guess that's just the way it goes. It is. Going about 100 through the motion, splitting quotients. I can't keep up with the status quo. Nah. Quorum, my decorum at the forum in the foreign. Had to ball out, let these niggas know. Let them know. Marcus like a.
So, quorum, my decorum at the foreign in the foreign, had to ball out, let these niggas know. That's a reference to like Rome being at the forum, having a quorum, an assembly of people, and decorum is like like presence and proper etiquette. So just once again, layers upon layers of like deeply psychic stuff. So let's keep going.
Be really regal, meditating like my last name was Aurelius. So diamond under pressure, blowing pressure. Yeah, I guess that's just the way it goes. It is. Going about 100 through the motion, splitting quotients. I can't keep up with the status quo.
Also, something on that. Going about 100 through the motion, split quo, I can keep with the status quo. Splitting quotients, okay? So if you had like a 1 over 1, right, that's like 2 pillars. So when you split something, you become 2. So once again, we're talking about 2 pillars, middle passage, bow. All right? Make sure this is actually showing. That's the right away version. 2 pillars, splitting quotients. Genie in the bottle, also it's the book. Okay, there's a paper, in bottles you have paper. So I'm going to go back to some older bars. Genie in the bottle, you have the paper. You see in the right away version, it's the Torah, book of law. And see here, the crystal ball in the other version. And the paper here as well. Lapa Pessing in the Marseille version. So I want to catch a couple things in there. Me and my Ambrosia smoking Doja, it's just once again playing with like Ambrosia, Food of the Gods, Doja Cat, right? Like the artist Doja Cat, Sphinx, spirituality. So, let's keep going.
Quorum, my decorum at the forum in the foreign. Had to ball out, let these niggas know. Let them know. Marcus like I'm Garvey, really regal, meditating like my last name was Aurelius.
Oh, yeah. So, Marcus like I'm Garvey, really regal, meditating like my last name was Aurelius. No, yeah. So, Marcus like I'm Garvey. Okay, so Marcus Garvey, obviously the... shouldn't say obviously, rather, but civil rights activist. Okay, you can go look him up. And, had the whole Back to Africa movement and really getting African Americans in this country more understand their history and their power and things, right? So that's reflected, once again, my dad being a Black American. And Marcus like I'm Garvey, really regal, meditating like my last name was Aurelius. So Marcus Garvey is very regal himself, and so is also Marcus Aurelius, one of the famous Roman emperors. He wrote the book Meditations, so Confessions, Meditations, and he had a lot of philosophy and good things. He was considered to be one of the last quote-unquote good emperors of Rome. So you know, just some stuff in there. My mom being from Italy, from Rome, my dad being black, is a perfect mix of everything that's coming in there. And what's in the music, right, is Marcus Garvey. You get a little bit of the, you know, the black to African from that, and you get a little bit of the Italian influence, you know, European, what they call mulatto, you know, the mixed race people influence in there. So let's keep going.
Like my last name was Aurelia, so
Yeah.
through the middle passage with my masters.
Come on.
Rocking back and forth
Like it was on the boat. Yeah. I love this line. Through the middle passage with my masters got me rocking back and forth like it was on the boat. Okay. A lot in this one. One of the, this may be hard to see. I have to get the card out. Maybe a different one, a different video. But there we go. 220, the eon. Okay, so 20. 2 plus 0 is 2. So it can reduce down to this 2 number as well. You see here, there's a figure of the baby, which is Heru, the 2 forms of Heru, right? Horus, that we've spoken about. And then behind that, there's the Virgin, more so the top of the Hermes Virgin. Okay. And then you can see it's wrapped in the universe. All right. So through 2 pillars, right in the middle. So there's a baby in this image here. So through the middle passage where my masters got me rocking back and forth like it was on the boat. Rocking back and forth, right? Like a baby. You know, babies rock back and forth on the boat. So there's a hidden meaning in there. I didn't pick that one up actually till much later. Yeah, the original, you know, the original meaning of that, and I later discovered that other synchronicity, you know, through the middle passage where my masters got me rocking back and forth like it was on the boat. Once again, Marcus Garvey, the middle passage, you know, the slave trade in terms of how a lot of black people ended up in this country in America and a lot of other countries around the world as well. You know, that was called the middle passage. And so through the middle passage with my masters, okay? So, you know, if I was with my masters on the boat, I mean, rocking back and forth like I'm on a boat at sea, right? Also, through the middle passage, I later discovered there's a book by a gentleman named James Hollis. It's called The Middle Passage. It actually deals with the dark night of the soul and going through that individuation process as well. So that was another synchronicity I didn't even know that book existed until much later on. And so through the middle passage with my masters got me rocking back and forth like it was on the boat. It's also so, you know, through the middle passage to my process of individuation, following my heart, creating this album got me rocking back and forth, right? Because I'm rocking, you know, doing music like I was on a boat. So highly layered in there, deeply layered in there. And once again, just some shit that I like to do. So, yeah. And then through the middle passage, okay, you know, there's a bit of like hidden meaning in there as well, right? Because once again, the priestess card going through the middle passage. Okay, so it's kind of like this number is 2, right? But you see there's actually, like, especially in this Rider-Waite version, there's the 2 pillars, Boaz, Yachin, and then there's the woman in the middle, the hidden woman. So through the middle passage, right? Very interesting. And, oh yeah, also, you know, for my life, right? So, you know, opposite through the middle passage, right? About the physical and the spiritual, you know, got the wedding ring, got the mason ring, okay? And then, and me in the middle. And now also, you know, as a kid, my parents divorced around age 9, so 9, also my hermit year. You know, it's like anybody who's been with divorced parents or gone through that, it's like you feel like you through the middle passage, you know, between the parents. Sometimes one want to see you more, so on and so forth. So I want to put all that in there for my life and esoteric, the historical context to show how it all relates, okay, as a confession. And let's keep going.
Get into the paper, fuck a hater in the favor. You can listen to the dial tone. Tone down my behavior, can't be wildin' out in public like my name was Nicholas Cannon. No, keep a couple cannons in the powder with the balls alighted on. Tone down my behavior, can't be wildin' out in public like my name was Nicholas Cannon. No, keep a couple cannons in the powder with the balls alighted up like it was July 4th.
Yeah.
Freedom, independence, trying to find the other 2/5 I can't compromise.
All right, let's run it back. Let's run it back. There's a lot in here. Some of it, you know, it seems a little straightforward. But as we dive into it more, there's definitely more interpretations. So let me run this back in here real quick. I think I'm done with those notes for now. So let me go ahead and make this one bigger so I can see what I'm doing.
Keep a couple cannons and can listen to the dial tone. Saying like my last name was Aurelia, so
Yeah. Hey.
through the middle passage
Where my masters got me rocking back and forth like it was on the boat. Yes, sir. Hey.
Get into the paper, fuck a hater in the favor. You can listen to the dial tone. Tone down my behavior, can't be wildin' out in public like my name was Nicholas Cannon. No, keep a couple.
So once again, get into the paper, fuck a hater. You can listen to dial tone. Tone on my behavior can be wild. So just once again, being very honest, get into the paper, fuck a hater. You can listen to dial tone the album. Tone down my behavior, can't be wilding out in public like my name was Nicholas Cannon. No, so we can tone down my behavior, wilding out, Nick Cannon. Can't be doing that, yeah.
Is in the powder with the balls, I light it up like it was July 4th. Like my name was Nicholas Cannon. No, keep a couple cannons in the powder with the balls, I light it up like it was July 4th.
Yeah, we got the siren because there's some fire going on right now. Look at that, 12 o'clock. Keep a couple cannons in the powder with the balls that light it up like it was July 4th.
Freedom, independence, trying to find the other two-fifths. I can't compromise about my goals.
Freedom, independence, trying to find the other 2/5. I can't compromise about my goals. Right? So keep a couple cannons in the powder with the balls to light it up like it was July 4th, right? July 4th. Keep a couple cannons, If you look at OKC, Young Bear's album cover, he got the cannons on there. It's kind of a reference to that. Keep a couple cannons with the powder with the balls to light it up like it was July 4th, right? So freedom, independence, trying to find the other 2/5. I can't compromise about my goals. All right, so once again, we're seeing 2, right? So 2/5, a reference to 2, and freedom, independence, right? So going to July 4th, obviously the founding fathers, they wanted, freedom, independence. They want to pay taxes on tea. They want to have the crown tell them what religion they could practice, right? So freedom, independence. They were looking to find that. They couldn't compromise about it. It's like, I can't compromise about my goals, right? Freedom, independence. I can't, trying to find out the 2/5 I can compromise about my goals. That 2/5 is in reference to the 3/5 compromise, which, at the time, Black American was only considered to be 3/5, of white Americans. So I wanted to tie all of that in there. So.
Searching for some closure since I popped up out the womb. You know that Papa was a Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
Please don't pull me over, cause statistically, if you do, then I may not ever make it home. Damn.
So, searching for some closure since I popped up out the womb. You know that Papa was a Rolling Stone. Yeah, mentioning the parents' divorces, right? The Rolling Stone, once again, going back to Pocket Full of Stones, Diamonds, okay? And then just searching for closure, like, as a lot of people in the world, when you have relationships that split off or things, you're always searching for that closure. And obviously, my father passing away, it becomes harder to find some of that through the person. So you learn to find it in yourself and through the art and the music and things, so.
Been the payment, painting pictures like a mural from the blood that's strictly if you do, then I may not ever make it. Was a Rolling Stone.
Yeah. Please don't pull me over, cause statistically, if you do, then I may not ever make it home. Oh, so please don't pull me over, cause if you do, then statistically, I may not ever make it home. Home, the first track on the album. So, if you play this album in reverse, right? If we got pulled over at Confessions, you would never make it home, right? And same thing, if I got pulled over statistically, as we know in this country, in America, and even around the world, our people are statistically jailed and given citations and things more than any other. So let's keep going.
Damn, face up in the payment, painting pictures like a mural from the blood that's spilling on my nose. Getting real impatient like I'm Jeremiah on late nights with the top down, cause you on my dome. Getting real impatient like I'm Jeremiah on late nights with the top down, but make it home. Damn. Face up in the payment, painting pictures like a mural from the blood that's spilling on my nose.
So face up in the pavement, painting pictures like a mural with the blood is spilling on my nose, in reference to, rest in power, George Floyd, and obviously other prophets and martyrs during this time. Who, just like prophets of old, unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately, but it's a part of the natural rhythms and cycles of the universe and the eons and things we're going through and working through as a human species and everything like that. We're coming across these, spiritual and physical problems, right? So face up in the pavement, painting pictures like a mural from the blood is spilling out my nose, right? So you're watching a man literally die, and the blood spilling out his nose. It's like a mural, you know, kind of like the blood flowing out from Christ, right? And what that was considered to do to the world, soul, and everything. So.
Impatient like I'm Jeremiah, late nights with the top down, cause you on my dome. Can't breathe.
So getting real impatient like I'm Jeremiah, late nights with the top down, cause you on my dome. Shout out to Jeremiah, the Late Nights album. Got a song in there called Impatient. And, you know, he says, still dipping through the city with the top down. Show you out there, show me what you about now. Right, so still getting real impatient like I'm Jeremiah, late nights with the top down because you on my dome, right? So it was on his dome. You know, he's calling out for his mom, and, you know, high priestess, right? Wow. And, yeah, let's keep going.
Really shamed and real deranged, and now it's strange like Marvin Gaye, man, what is going on?
So feeling really shamed and now deranged and now strange. So you can imagine somebody's on the back of your neck, literally killing you, how you would be feeling on the inside. You know, and as an artist, I like to put myself into situations and how I probably would be feeling, and we can imagine how that man was feeling, getting killed like that.
Ain't that real peculiar how I heard it through the great? Feeling really shamed and real deranged, and now it's strange like Marvin Gaye, man, what is going on? What's going on? What's going on? Ain't that real peculiar how I heard it through the grapevine, and it made me wanna get it on.
So feeling really shamed and real deranged, and now it's strange like Marvin Gaye, man, what is going on? Marvin Gaye, I probably don't even have to go too much into him, but you can look him up if you don't know him. But beautiful singer, beautiful artist. He wrote a lot of political discourse and music, and he felt in his music, you know, when he was coming out, he had to do a lot of like sexual music and kind of pop, you know, stuff we see now, popular stuff, so that he could do the stuff he really wanted to do. If you listen to, you know, What's Going On, very like anti-war song, anti-violence, you know, and you know, so let's go here. Let me.
Strange like Marvin Gaye, man, what is I'm Jeremiah, late nights with the top down, cause you on my dome. Can't breathe. Feeling really shamed and real deranged, and now it's strange like Marvin Gaye, man, what is going on?
What's going on? Feeling really ashamed and real deranged, and now it's strange like Marvin Gaye, man, what is going on? It's like, man, well, I gotta do this stuff to get the music out. I really want to get out, see all these issues in the world.
Going on. Ain't that real peculiar how I heard it through the grapevine, and it made me wanna get it on.
So ain't that real peculiar how I heard it through the grapevine? Through the grapevine is one of his songs that made me want to get it on. Let's Get It On is another Marvin Gaye song. So wanted to show homage to a legend. Somebody came before me who's also talking about political stuff, but also, you know, and spiritual stuff, and, you know, in his art, and had to kind of mask it in like a poppier sounding tunes to, you know, facilitate the listening of it, right? So want to throw that in there as well. And, you know, have that just be all a part of this and tie it together with, once again, the racial disparities in this country and, you know, the hidden nature of this high priestess card and everything. So let's let this. Yeah. Yeah. Confessions. Let me check my notes here. I think that's about all I wanted to say on this one. And, yeah, heard it through the grapevine. Okay. And it made me want to get it on as well. Okay, also heard it through the grapevine. We could see here, wow, it's kind of like grapevines there, and that high priestess, right? There's vines on that card. It made me want to get it on. You know, once again, get it on after the George Floyd stuff. It's like we heard it through the grapevine, right? We saw the video of what happened, and then it's like those were riots and everything, you know, started spreading. So they just want to get it on. So, yeah, that was Confessions. So we went through Home. Now it's the second track, Confessions. All right. And on the next one, we're going to get into track 3, Old School. Okay. And make sure to check out the album, the link in the description. Run It Up, available everywhere. If you want to support, you can buy some of the digital collectibles and other stuff out there as well on Bandcamp. And yeah, check us out, man. So this is Lil Vibe, Soliloquies, an OKC story. And this one we got into Confessions, track 2 on the album. The next one we're gonna be getting into Old School. Hey, yep. So, you know, tune in. Lil Vibe, Berkeley Studios, OKC. Shout out to Axel, RJC Productions, P Status Beats, and once again my guys, Young Bear Music, Beats by Ray. Once again, Lil Vibe out.